real close look at this Eagle game this week. And, I was telling you guys I was interested to see how many times that teams could make Jalen Hurts throw from the pocket, things like that.
How often he has to really put some pop on his balls.
Yeah. The thing about with Jalen Hurts is in this game, for him to have success, he's throwing the ball. Now, okay, going into the season, I was one of these guys that said, listen, Cowboys have an advantage. Dak over Jalen Hurts throwing the football. That was going to be your advantage if you're a Cowboy fan, and if Eagles, what was the difference? The rosters are really similar with you talking about the players at various positions. But the thing with Hurts is, though, he's better than the guy you got right now. There's just absolutely no question about that. But he's gotten better throwing the football. But the teams that have made him play backwards, and when I mean play backwards is his mechanics really suffer when he goes backwards in the pocket. And the games that I was watching, like the Jacksonville game, the Arizona game, the Commanders games, they were able to make him play backwards here. And when he could stand in the pocket, he's very comfortable. I mean, he throws the ball. I'm amazed. We've talked about over the years or the last couple of years, a guy like Josh Allen and how he's improved. Jalen Hurts has improved throwing the football. But when he's pressured and his feet aren't set, and when I'm saying make him go back, then that's a problem for him. He's throwing the ball well, though, on the move, whether he's rolling right or left. That's the things you have to worry about. This offense creates a lot of problems for you. It really, really does, because they can do a lot of different things with the way they play with the RPOs. You guys remember the Giants game when Daniel Jones rolled out? Yep. He pulled the ball, he rolls out, looks like he's going to run, and then he throws the ball to the sidelines, the receiver, because you've driven on coverage. That's a common occurrence for what Jalen Hurts does in these games. I mean, he's going to read it, he's going to pull, and he's heading for the line of scrimmage like he's going to run, and then he just whips the ball to the outside. And so there's a
real triple threat, and he's very good at seeing that thing, isn't he?
There is, and that's his ability to read and hold the football, the ability to pull the ball at the right time. I think he's really, really.
That's
good.
An art, man. It's hard to get that down. The guys that do it well are a nightmare.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And I think, even with A.J. Brown and Smith and Watkins and these guys that they have, I think the guy that if you could stop one of these guys in this game, and it's not one of those three receivers, it's Dallas Goedert.
Sure.
I think that's the guy that he relies on, just watching all these games. And what happens is, you always mention about screens and things like that, delayed screens. Those are killer plays. But with Dallas Goedert, it's always comes on the left side of the formation. Mm-hmm. Every time it's like if you see Dallas Goedert lined up as a wing left, which would be the right to the Dallas formation, they're going to throw a screen to that side. It's uncanny. I mean, I'm going through all these games. I'm like, oh, there's another delayed screen. Oh, there's another screen. They have a play that's negative or a play that gets no yards, and it's a 2nd and 10, they're going to throw the tight end screen. I mean, I watched like 5 games, and they were doing it every single time. That like they get it's like their way of saying, okay, how do we not put Hurts in harm's way throwing the ball way down the field when we could just make a simple throw to Dallas Goedert in here? Now, the thing that you get if you're a Cowboy fan, and this is what I teased, this Cowboy defense has allowed a league low 4 yards a target to opposing tight ends with 0 touchdowns.
Wow.
Okay, so now how you play him in this game could be key. Because if you and it's one of those things, it's almost like Cooper Kupp. You can't let him kill you in the game, but he's going to make some plays. But if you're telling me Dallas 4 yards of reception to a tight end with no touchdowns, Tyler Higbee last week, I mean, he's a big weapon for the Rams. This is where I think if you said, Brian, pick me something out I need to stop, I think you need to stop their tight end. I really do, because he's like this. when you say the security blanket or however you want to call it, but he's the guy that he goes to when he needs a play.
And how do you feel like the Cowboys are at defending that tight end screen?
You know what? It's all about discipline, Gavin. I appreciate you asking that, because to me, when you want to rush upfield so quick, you want to get. I mean, he is going to act like he's a wing. He's on the outside, of the tackle, and he's gonna just sit. And he waits and he waits. And so by that time, things are starting, the routes are developing and the rush is developing. And then he just wheels out. And then he
slips.
Yeah, he just slips out, and then they get the line. But you're like going, damn, how do you defend when a guy is showing you that he's blocking?
Yeah.
And that's that. If they could stop him from making these plays, if they could stop him, that's the one guy that when this game, when you watch this, you're going to go, and if you go back and watch the Eagles play, it's like he throws the ball to him so much, and they make big play after big play after big play doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a huge thing for them. I mean, they lead the league. They're tied with the Cleveland Browns, funny enough, with the most big plays of the season, where they have 25 rushes that went 10 or more yards, and they have 19 receptions that went 20 or more yards. Yeah. So, they thrive on big plays. And it felt like they did whenever I was watching them play Arizona. Felt like there was a lot of Devonte Smith little tunnel screens.
They're gonna
easy, see what can happen. And Devonte Smith is taking hits, man.
It was the lowest. It's the lowest percentage or the lowest yards per attempt that he's had in any game this year.
So outside, opening drive of the game, it seemed like it was the A.J. Brown drive for them. Against Arizona, but afterwards, you're right. He gets in trouble. He's looking for Dallas Goedert. I wonder if this is all right. You're definitely playing 3 safeties for Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
because we've talked about maybe Donovan Wilson is your spy for Jalen Hurts. They need Jaron Kearse to really have a good game, because I think he's your guy against Dallas Goedert. Last year, he was really good against tight ends.
Your safeties are going to have to be huge, because Kearse, and then you mentioned with Wilson. Wilson could be your spy. Wilson could be your spy on when you get Hurts running. That's the thing. That's what you get to the pocket. If you win, and this offensive line's banged up, we'll see what happens with Jordan Mailata. Because if Jack Driscoll's playing in this game, number 63, there's your fish. There's your guy you go after. Because he at left tackle, he doesn't handle things very well over there. So they need Jordan Mailata. By the way, if I'm the Cowboy coaching staff, I'm going up to the officials before the game. I'm saying Jordan Mailata lines up way too deep. You need to keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on how deep because he's so big. He's going to set one time, 2 times, and then the guy's, he's going to try and keep you wide.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going up and saying he's lining up too deep in the backfield before the game even starts.
Definitely.
Got to get
illegal formations going on.
And this team gets a lot of legal men downfield penalties, too. That's another thing.
That's the RPO life.
That is where I would also say that to the officials. Listen, you can't let these guys get downfield early on this, okay? So keep an eye on that. The left tackle situation. How you match up against Dallas Goedert, I think, will be a really, really key in this thing with a banged-up offensive line right now.